Graham v. Connor was a landmark case decided by the United States Supreme Court in 1989, which established the legal standard for evaluating claims of excessive use of force by law enforcement officers. In the case, Dethorne Graham, a diabetic, was stopped by police officers in Charlotte, North Carolina, who suspected him of stealing from a convenience store. During the encounter, Graham experienced a diabetic episode, and the officers used force to subdue him. Graham sued the officers, alleging that their use of force was excessive and violated his Fourth Amendment rights. The Supreme Court held that the reasonableness of a particular use of force must be evaluated from the perspective of a reasonable officer on the scene, rather than with the 20/20 vision of hindsight. What would a reasonable officer do in the same situation, armed with the same knowledge of what had transpired? The court also held that the use of force must be judged based on the totality of the circumstances, including the severity of the crime, the threat posed by the suspect, and whether the suspect is actively resisting arrest or attempting to flee. In short, the court established that the use of force by law enforcement officers must be evaluated based on an objective reasonableness standard, and that officers should be judged based on what a reasonable officer would do in the same situation.